Okay, so we are looking at the new short film. Oh no, I just realized I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this. Les trois valseurs. Oh no, I think it's les tres valtures because it actually means waltz for free, right? So yes, so if it's free, there would be tres. So les tres valseurs. I still feel I have probably butchered it, but anyway, that is our film. It is written and directed by Oriana Ng. The film is produced by Oriana along with Isabel Metcalf and Abigail Prada. Um, Amelia Gazik handled the cinematography. Razvan Barsetti edits the piece. Margaret Trutin is production design. Sound was handled by Sarah Kadori. And our cast, right? So we have got Jean, played by Mikaël Mittelstadt. Agnes is played by Ophélie Lehmann. We also have got Genevieve O'Neill and Tinelli Louise in the film. Right, the gist is this, right? A rich woman picks up a male prostitute and asks for more than he usually sells. Now, obviously, like when this was, look, when this was brought my way, I had no clue what this was about, right? It's AJ. So, whatever she brings, I know it's going to be good, right? But when you look at that synopsis, and it could mean so many things, right? So many things. So we start off, and all we're kind of seeing is parts of the faces, like eyes and mouths, right, of these people. And I have no clue, like, who we're looking at or anything like that. Then a car is arriving, and we kind of pan out and we see these ladies standing there, and they're all getting sorting themselves out, looking presentable. And then we hear them go, "Oh, Jean, it's your turn." Right, so he goes over to the car, and we have a lady behind the wheel. And so you're kind of wondering, okay, where is, what's the ask? What's the offer, right? And it's interesting because he's like, this is how much it costs. And she's like, what about just for company? So we realize it could be something else here. But there have been kind of, films of a similar ilk where it starts off and then it goes into, right? So you don't know, but it's interesting because with this film, as we move forward, more and more gets peeled off. It's like an onion, right? There's layers here. And so we're getting the layers of Agnes, right? What she is possibly going through, right? Why she is looking for this kind of company, because, I mean, again, we've seen this film. A lot of times it's the other way around, right? It's a man looking for a woman, you know? And a lot of times when it's a man, right, it's you know, a less, you know, a guy that might find trouble talking, like meeting a girl, let's say. So doing it this way around is interesting, but you think what's going on here? Why, right? And as I said, these layers come off, and you really just see the heart of the film. And there's points that are so sad, and others that just make you smile. Right? It's a little bit of a roller coaster, right? And again, I have no clue. So I don't know what to expect. And so you're having all of these different motherfucking emotions, and you're just like, yo, what is happening right now? You know? It's you know, because obviously, right, he goes to kiss her when, you know, they get to her place, and she's just like, no. Right? So you have this weird kind of barrier, right? This weird kind of distance between the two, though she's looking for company, but she doesn't want to fully open up, right? It's meant to be one of those situations, and you think I think that, I don't know, that could be a big thing about, right, people seeing, you know, prostitutes, right? Because there's a detachment, right? You don't have to fully open up, right? You can, you know, get your carnal pleasure without having to open up your soul to someone, right? And so, you know, you get the feeling she's trying to get that, right? She wants company, but she doesn't want to open herself up just because of possibly all this rawness, all these other emotions and feelings that are there. But as the night goes on, you know, obviously, right, you talk more about these things. You know, he's looking at stuff in the house, and he's just like, oh yes, like, he got me that, and I bought him this. And so it just makes you then think about different things, you know? And we get these priceless moments of, like, these expressions, you know? Like when he's dancing at the beginning, right? We see Agnes and she's smiling, but it's this kind of smile of prolonged hope, you know? But it's captured so well, right? And that's the incredible thing, right? What Ophelia and Mikaël do is bring these characters to life and bring to life this situation that has it hammer home to you this emotional breath, you know? And it's just, oh man, it's this roller coaster, you know? Like there's this other moment, right? I mean, there's this, and it's shot so well, right? They dance again, but we're only seeing it at first via the mirror. And it's this really interesting shot because it's kind of voyeuristic in a way, but you're getting this glimpse of this thing that she shared with her husband, this intimate moment, but it's not quite what it used to be. So it's such an interesting shot, right? And so we have that, but then, something happens and then they continue dancing. And what is this bit is because at first there is still a little bit of distance, right? Of trying to walk in the footsteps of this emotion. And then as it goes on, we see her get fully caught up in it. And it really does. Man, that scene just really, it kills you. It kills you, man. It is such a lovely frigging scene. And I think at the end, when he sees the statue, and I could be fully wrong here, right? It does often happen, right? But for me, it seemed he's looking at this statue and it's reminding him of her. Because the statue is this beautiful piece, but it's broken, right? It's kind of, tarnished, right? It hasn't been cared for. It's in disrepair. And that is Agnes, right? This beautiful lady who has, she's experiencing loss. She feels broken, incomplete, right? So her soul is tarnished. And that's the statue. I don't know, right? That's what that said to me. And it was just, man, this was an incredible little film, right? It is, if you want to say 16 minutes, right? And so much is conveyed here, right? So much is conveyed. And if I am right, this is just Oriana's third short. Just a third short, which is remarkable, right? That she is able to just capture so much emotion, right? So much emotion in such a short space of time, right? That she was able to get her cast to deliver these types of performances. It's just in the conversation. Because sometimes you can get good performances, this a wonderful story. Sometimes the dialogue doesn't always, it can feel a little forced in places, Sometimes you'd be like, I'm not sure they'd say that. But it really rings true to the situation. Well, that's how it feels, right? It feels like this is what it would be like, a little uncomfortable, a little, like these stutter steps of trying to start, but not fully sure, right? Not wondering if you're ready for this, right? But then being caught up in the memories. Right? Because again, that's kind of like the last dance, right? It's being caught up in in the glow of a fault, right? Like, you know, it's dark and then the sun rises. And for her, it's this loss, but then what rises is the memory of these kind of connections, these interactions. And yeah, that's what the film does, man. That's what the film does. Oriana Ng is a voice to take note of. Because if this is what she can do in 16 friggin' minutes, my God, right? My God, what the hell is she gonna do if you give her 2 hours, right? Ah, man, this was lovely. This was fantastic. This is one of those ones that just sits with you, right? It sits with you. So, hey, definitely keep an eye out for Waltz for free, aka Les Tres Valseurs, because it's just a wonderful, wonderful story, right? And it will fill you with sadness, but it will also make you smile. It really will. So look, if I can find any release information, I will put it on the website. But yeah, go follow the socials so you can keep track of everything that's going on. And just remember the name, Oriana Ng. Because, yeah, I think we're going to be seeing some great things from this young lady.